Hello and welcome to another live coaching. I don't know what this number is. We've done hundreds of these at this point. Welcome. You're very welcome. I want to know if you sailed this week. Did you sail? Where's the banner that asked that? There we go. Did you sail this week? I didn't. I've been in Hamburg and just sort of getting some stuff done. I've got a lot to do, a lot of administrative things, a lot of work stuff to catch up on. So I need a little break from windsurfing at the moment just to catch up on things. I'm trying to get this first newsletter finished. The August newsletter is going to go out before the end of August, surprise. And that's all through the Patreon. There's a link to that somewhere here. It's just Patreon, patreon.com/Graham Ezzy. And that's where you can support the Facebook group and the coaching, like this coaching. And then there's a newsletter to sign up for, and there's also even a higher level you can join. And so I've got to finish that newsletter and get ready for my clinics in September. There's actually quite a bit to do. So we're doing 2 windsurfing master classes in September in Denmark, just making sure I've got everything ready for them, because I want to make them a great experience. All right. We've got some people joining us. Hey, Dom, Dennis, Richie, Max, Tomas, Jorg, Dennis. Sounds like Dennis is the only one that's been sailing, though I think Dom, did you have a session? I think you had a session. Dennis says a couple of light wind freestyle sessions with Samuel and Vicente. Tacking practice. Sounds good. And I'm going to see Axel in Denmark. I'm looking forward to it. Good evening on Facebook. Trying to think if I have any other admin stuff to go over before we start. Ragnar. Hello, Ragnar. Welcome. Good to see you in the chat. All right, so I'm going to load up the Facebook group soon. We've got a good crew tonight. Rasmus. Rasmus sailed in Silt on Wednesday. It was good. Silt is really good when it's good. Silt gets a lot of flack for not being great in the competition because sometimes we have to sail when the conditions are not very good. But when it is good, Silt is lots of fun. I've had amazing sessions in Silt. Somewhere you know what would be fun is to go back and through all my photos of all the great days in Silt and make a little slideshow, because there actually have been really good days. Also during the event, and we weren't even running. I remember we had one day and it was like head to logo high, side off wind, perfect down the line. And we just did free sailing for like 3 hours until the conditions shut down. And that happened more than once. That happened one year and we just didn't even compete. That happened another year. And then they started running freestyle of all things. And then they waited for the wind to get onshore to run the heat, the next heat, which I think was Brasinho versus Victor Fernandez. Crazy stuff. John is going to Vicente. Have fun. Good luck. All right, let me get the Facebook group up. All right. Here we are. Which is better? Maybe this is better? Or is that better? Definitely not that. But maybe this? I don't know. Pascal! Nice. Glad to hear you had a good time in Tenerife. Why am I having so much trouble getting this how I want it? This is like the same, right? This isn't a difference for you guys. This is the same size for each thing. So I'm just going to leave it like this. Greg, sorry to hear about your ankle injury. I hope it's not a bad one. All right, let's get into this Facebook group. I'm going to refresh the page, and then we're going to dive in. So this is me. I can see who was commenting on Facebook, or maybe not. All right, Chris. My breakthrough was doing a loop on a very good ramp on a 3-7 day. So we've seen Chris's journey through forward loops, and I think we're going to get to some of those forward loops as well, because Some of them were posted earlier this week. And so this is a little bit of a spoiler, but those of you in the Facebook group have already been following Chris's journey. So I want to jump to the ending. I want to see how it goes. He had a breakthrough. That's great. I want to see the breakthrough. So we're skipping right to the end, skipping straight to the good stuff. Though you might argue that Chris going for it is the good stuff, because there is a photo sequence he posted of just hucking it, going huge, not looking back, not going horizontal. Looks terrifying. So maybe that's the good stuff. Anyway, so we're skipping to the end. Straight upwind, just like I was going for back loop, but then doing the same bad technique and somehow getting all the way around. Then looping on every port reach in the same spot that I had success the first time. Okay, this is a good key. This is the first time I've seen someone mention this, but I can relate to it immediately. So when you're learning a trick, sometimes it just works in one spot. And that's not bad. If you find that spot, just keep doing that trick there. Just that same spot, the same little patch of water. For whatever reason, it lines up with how you think of the move. You know, I've had that with flockas. I've had that with tacks. I've had that with lots of different moves. I really get it. And so there's two sides to this coin. The first side is, if you can relate to this, or even if you can't and you're trying to learn a new move, do it in the same spot. Do it in the same spot. Do it in the same spot. And that means like the same little square meter patch of water, right? More or less. I mean, it's not going to be exact, but I remember, especially with freestyle, when I was doing freestyle as a teenager, this was really something that was true for me. You know, I had this spot where I did my spocks. I had this spot where I did my grubbies. I had this spot, you know, and that was how I sort of built up this large repertoire of tricks. And with freestyle, I could do basically every single move. Or I let me put it differently. I'd landed every single move at least once. Chachos, double flockas. This is a while ago, right? This is before the backwinded stuff. This was 15 years ago or something. But I'd landed everything. But I wasn't a competitive freestyler. And I don't think I could have been, because, and this is the other side of the coin, once you can do the move, then it's super important that you start doing it in different places. And so if you can tack, but you're doing those tacks in the same spot, the way to get better at your tacks is to start doing them all over the place. Do it where you feel uncomfortable. Do it closer in. Do it farther out. Do it where it's choppy. Do it where it's smooth. Whatever it is, break up that geography. And then you can get to the point where you can do that move anywhere. And so I didn't do that with my freestyle. So at Kanaha, where I learned freestyle, I could do all the moves. You know, not every time. Obviously, I wasn't a top freestyle pro. You know, I was focusing on my wave riding. But on flat days on Maui, you know, I'd go train freestyle, and I wanted to be able to do a lot of the moves. But I could never take that anywhere because I didn't break out of that geography. So the two sides to this coin are, if you're trying to learn the move, do it in the same place. Do it in the same geography. And then once you get it down, do it in different places. And then that's how you learn it in a way that then you can transfer to other spots. It helps you learn the move more fully, yada, yada, yada. All right. So let's get back to Chris. After 20 plus loops, I got used to the feeling and started thinking about technique, like looking back, getting my backhand further back. Then I started getting the board all the way around. This is great. So here's a video from Chris. Full on loop landed. I mean, what progress, Chris? Like, just like round of applause. What great progress. So cool to see the journey in real time. Cool. Love it. I love also seeing you work through this whole thing. So Chris, right on. And for everyone else, hopefully there's some information in there that you can apply to your own learning. Juso finally got his GoPro setup working. This is the first video footage of fast tacks with a 91 liter 4.3. This video is more of a follow-up. Thanks for the tips last December. All right, so this is a follow-up. Yeah, it looks solid. That's a great tack. Yeah, nice. Yeah, these are great tacks. I'm not even gonna get into the technique because if it works, right? And we talked about technique already with Juso. Um, love it. All right, next up, we got a question from Simon. I have this video open in another thing, and so he's gonna go to Ginshu for a few days. Um, tips on the spot. All right, no one has responded to this. This is from yesterday. So I've got to write a longer response to this. Ginshu is a super fun spot. Chris was just there. Chris, the member from the group. So Chris, if you're watching and you want to respond to Simon, you might find he might find it useful. Or if anyone else has experience windsurfing in Ginshu, I love Ginshu. I've windsurfed there a lot, and it's a spot that I think is really fun, but it's also really finicky. It can be just easy and just great wind, or you can see the wind. It's 100 meters off the beach and you're just waiting for it to come in, waiting for it to come in. So my advice, if you're just focused 100% on windsurfing, which I normally am when I'm there, you don't leave the beach. Even you can show up kind of late to the beach even. I mean, sometimes it's working, but then let me rephrase that, because you can leave the beach, but the point is that the evening sessions are often the best sessions. And so a lot of times you're waiting for that wind to come in, you're waiting for that wind to come in, and then 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, beautiful golden light, and the wind fires, gets side shore, even a little side off, and that's the best time of day. So don't leave the beach early just because it's not working. There are great early sessions though too. So Simon, it's not like, oh, just show up late. But it can be kind of tricky if the clouds are not in the right place, if it's too hot, if it's too cold, then the wind doesn't come in perfectly and you kind of have to wait for it. All right, there's two questions in here. The second question is about the move that Coster does at 4 minutes in this clip. Coster's been killing it. Coster's been killing it with his social media. I actually want to do a video about Coster. I've got a video and 2 challenges for him. So actually I've been chatting with him on the phone, and he's supposed to send me some footage. If he sends me some footage, then I could do a video about him and his sailing. And then I want to roll that into a challenge. I've got 2 challenges for him. 1, I'm curious to see if he can do, and 2, actually I don't think he can do. Don't tell him that though. I want to see. All right. Rasmus is saying that besides Ginshu, Peniche can be a very good wave sailing spot. It works for so many wind directions, especially with the west winds, which are onshore elsewhere. Great advice. All right, let's watch this. So Chris, or this is not Chris, this is Simon's question, right? Yeah, Simon. So Simon, this is a backside 360, backside wave 360. It's a fairly advanced maneuver. Now, there are people who can do backside 360s who are not what I would consider to be advanced wave sailers. But is it similar to upwind 360 in the straps? It's more similar to a shaka. So there are some key differences. The upwind 360 in the straps, you're really pushing your weight forward a lot. And with the shaka and with the backside 360 here, you can't really tell, but his weight is going over here. So the weight is not leaning forward. So if we find, I'll show this video and then we'll go through and find a, let's go to continent 7 again, and let's find an upwind 360, and you'll see that there's just a kind of a key difference with how it goes through the wind. So they're pretty different moves, but it's a lot more similar to a shaka. Do they not even have upwind 360s? All right, let's find another backwind. Backside 360. All right, so here are a few different versions of backside 360. All right, here's one for me. Let's see what this looks like. Oh, doesn't work. Quick time. Also doesn't work, huh? Okay. So let's do one from Mussolini. So the weight is really going over here. Whereas if you're doing one like in the straps and then like through the wind, like not getting air, not doing a shaka, your weight goes forward a lot sooner. Whereas here, the weight, like, it's kind of hard to see, but like the sail's back the whole time, right? Whereas when you're doing that, like upwind 360, windsurf. Let's see if we can find this. The sail goes forward. All right, we're gonna watch an ad. Sorry, skip the ad. Okay, so I just want to show this. It's so okay. So you can. I hate all these camera cuts, but look how he's pushing the sail forward. You see how the sail's going forward really early in the move? Really early in the move, and he's leaning forward towards the nose of the board. What's with all these other clips? I just want to see the upwind 360. Okay, so this is an upwind 360, which Simon says that he can do. But I want to show how the upwind 360 is different than the backside 360. So look at what the sail's doing. The sail's coming forward right away, right? You see that? Right away. It's pushing forward. He's leaning forward, leaning forward, leaning forward, okay? Now, let's go back to continent 7. And okay, so here's one from Leon. So it's a little bit different than the one we saw from Alex. But like, look how back the sail is. Back, 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 still back, still back, still back, actually. Starts to come forward just at the end. So it's a completely different sail dynamic than doing the back or the upwind 360 like on flat water. Here's another example. Look how hard he's pushing the sail back and pushing his weight over here, not over here like you would in an upwind 360. So let's watch this and then. So is the move difficult? Yes. But do I think you should try it? Yes. And I think that it's just important to have realistic expectations. Simon, I don't know how good you are otherwise. So if you're in the chat, let us know. But I think learning to shove it is helpful. Learning the shaka is helpful. But if you can't do either of those, it's also worth giving it a try. So long as you're confident, it's something that I would say that the thing that you want to be able to do first are lay down backside hits. So backside turns where you're getting the sail low, right? So if you don't know what that is and you can't do those, then you're not ready for trying the backside 360 on the whitewater. But what you want to lead into is, or what you want to learn first are for sure those like lay down backside rides. And then what you do is instead of pushing the sail forward to again push you upright, you keep the sail back and you push your weight even more towards the tail of the board. And then that starts the rotation and then the whitewater carries you through. All right, so this is an old post from Eric. I posted a response to this on the Patreon group. So I did just a little video going over some different kinds of backside rides because Eric wanted an overview with some footage and learning about what different kinds of backside rides look like, what you can do while you're backside riding. So that's in the Patreon. The Patreon group, by the way, there's like 3 levels. Okay, so the first level just supports the Facebook group. And this, at some point, I think a year or 2 years ago, we had some donations, which helped kind of get all this equipment, the light, and whatever else, the camera, the mic, the GoPros. And so now for like the next step, there's like a lower level on the Patreon where you can give a donation. Middle level is the newsletter. It's something that I'm working pretty hard on. I think is going to be pretty cool. It's kind of like newsletters, maybe not the right term, but I couldn't think of a better term. It's kind of like a magazine. So basically it's like a Substack. So I got the inspiration from Substack. If you know what Substack is. Why did I not do it through Substack? Because Patreon had some other features and the other tiers, which I thought were interesting. Anyway, so it's kind of like a little coaching magazine. At the beginning, I'm writing the whole thing, but maybe we'll bring in other writers as well as it evolves. Highest tier is high level coaching. It's a WhatsApp group and a Zoom call every month. And the obvious value there is, of course, the coaching that I do. The hidden value, which I think is even bigger, is the group dynamic. There's so much knowledge in that group. Like already in the group, we have a fitness health expert. We have a wealth management expert with like there's so many different things and having that little group, that's sort of one of the secret benefits of doing these master classes. So like for example, the in-person courses like we're doing in Denmark or whatever else is the networking because you meet new friends for windsurfing or for your professional life or whatever else. And it's not like you get along great with everyone, though hopefully you do, but there are friends for life that come out of it or connections or even businesses. So hidden benefit. Anyway, I see we've got a comment I missed from Neil. He learned when Robbie was still a teenager and sailed every day for 25 years, then stopped for a decade. Finally sailed again this week. Right on. That's a great story. Even just 2 sentences or 1 sentence, whatever that is. Great story. He's addicted again at 55. Plan to go at a forward loop this year using my tips. Nice. Good luck. Keep us posted. And let's work through the whole process because there's definitely a way to do it, I think, where you don't have to be scared. You don't have to worry about hurting yourself. You just go step by step by step. All right, another comment from Facebook. He's doing loops all over the place, not only at the same spot, water starting from some and landed a couple, but did not sail away. Using the mantra, look back, look back. Nice. So this is Chris, I guess. The StreamYard can be weird, so if your name doesn't show up, don't take it personally. It's the software I'm using for the live streaming. All right, let's get back to the Facebook group. All right, so this is the epic sequence from Chris. I just love the determination on this. I mean, it looks so scary. Like just big jump to face plant. Ouch. But right on, Chris. I'm so happy that you got it figured out. This is a gnarly sequence. All right. This is an old one from Cell. Cell, I want to hear how it goes. I think he did the Sarah Hauser Jedi Monkey Ninja course. Here's a post from Ragnar about small waves and how it forces him to get closer to the beach. Yeah, I mean, if the water is just really shallow, you've got to be careful. It depends on how it is. I think sometimes the water can be shallow, but you're how do I say this? It's like the water can be shallow, but it's more a mental thing, or just the water is really shallow, and then that's obviously an issue, right? Excuse me. Oh, here I'm back. So Ragnar, it depends. If it's just really shallow water, just be careful. Watch your fins. Get plastic fins because they don't explode as easily as some other ones. Depends. It's hard for me to see from this video. Like if it's just shallow, super shallow, then there's not really a trick, right? It's just be careful. Sometimes like in Tenerife, for example, when we're competing, we want to get one last turn in the water super shallow. And it's not uncommon then for riders to knock out their fins on the way back out because the water is so shallow. Or in Cabo Verde, we were riding like on the rocks. I destroyed, I think it was 3 fin boxes. The boxes, not just the fins. So the boards. Which is just to say that if you're riding in really shallow water, sometimes you're going to hit your fins. So I guess there's one tip here, which is that if you ride coming in and you want to go back out, sometimes it's best not to sail out. So this is actually the tip, and this is actually, I think, a good tip for these conditions. And this is something that, for example, in Tenerife, you can do on the inside. And it's that you want a body drag going out. So just kind of fall in, don't try and turn around. So at this point, so you ride the wave in, hope that you don't hit anything. And often there's a bit more water with the wave as it's coming in. So you ride the wave in, hope you don't hit anything, and then just kind of fall in, like staying flat, not to bump the rocks. You know, you kind of do it gently, like parachuting yourself down with your sail. And then kind of water start position, body drag out to where it's deep enough that then you can sail. Because a lot of times if it's shallow and you're going back out and the water's sucking out for the next wave, that's when you can hit your fin, break the box, knock out the fin, break the fin. So do that little body drag out. That can help protect your fins. So that is a tip for those shallow conditions. All right. I think we talked about this. So I think you want to move your straps back. I already said that, but move the straps back. It'll make this board feel looser, which is what we're trying to do. All right. Jake, is it Jacob or Jakob? He's on his way to El Medano, hopefully having a good time. There's a few other people there. Jacob, or do you say Jakob? I guess Denmark would be Jakob. Anyway, Jakob, if you do want contact with a filmer, I know some people for filming and photos. Reach out to me with an email or direct message, and I can connect you. All right, there's last week's coaching. We already talked about priorities. All right, I think, can this be? Did we get through this in like a record time? No, I don't think so, because we didn't talk about this one, did we? So South Portugal, looking for equipment to rent. This is not something I have experience with. You could reach out to Ben Profit. Is he in the group? I don't know if he's in the group. I guess he's not. But I don't have experience on this. Looks like there isn't much experience. So let us know if you're still looking, Roy. Have you found any answers? All right. We already went through this one from Caro. The psychology. All right. I think we're caught up. That's amazing. I can't believe it. That was quick. Just like that, we're caught up. Cool. I don't even know what to say. That's great. If you guys have any questions, you can throw them in the chat. Let me think out loud if there's anything else to go through. So I'm working on the newsletter. So if you're in the Patreon group waiting for the newsletter, it's coming. And there will be one every month. I'm working on that. I'm also getting ready for the master classes in Denmark. So if you're in those, if you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask me. If you want to support the channel, if you want to sign up for the newsletter, you can do all of that through Patreon. It should be in the description somewhere here. If you're not a member of the Facebook group, the link is there. What else? I'm trying to think of more interesting Instagram content to do, because I'm kind of bored with just posting pretty photos, which is kind of like the standard pro windsurfing thing to do. Though there are a lot of pro windsurfers who do really interesting things, but pretty photos is kind of what I've done mainly with my Instagram, and I want to start doing some other stuff, some more commentary. So like, for example, I reached out to Philip and I want to get some footage from him to talk about. If there's something you guys want to see that's coaching related or not coaching related, let me know. You can do that in the comments here or on my Instagram directly. I want to try to make some more just like, I don't know, just kind of interesting stuff, educational, or I don't know, something that I find interesting. So maybe something you find interesting too. All right, guys. I think that this is it. I think we reached the end. If you have any questions, comments, videos, concerns, whatever, post it in the Facebook group and we'll talk about it next week, Sunday. Otherwise, I hope you have a windy week and you're able to get on the water. I'm probably not getting on the water this week, still busy doing all the other admin stuff and work that I have to do, even if there is a wind forecast, which I don't think there is. All right. Thank you, everyone, for showing up. I'll see you next week. Take care.